Hi, my name is Julia. Welcome to my channel. I have 3 kids, all 4 and under, and we just finished our first week of official school. I say that term kind of loosely because I do not intend to enact a rigid schedule for my kids in school. I intend to provide structure and content for them to, springboard off of and ask more questions and learn and explore. The learning journey, the school journey is already underway. They have been learning from before they were born even. And so I am a companion on the journey and not trying to take over their learning experience. I'm really wanting to be a companion to them, a guide, and wanting to learn alongside them, honestly. So a lot of the ways that I kind of view the material that I pursue for my kids and the content that we're learning is through my own learning style. I read a lot. I'm always ordering books from the library of many different genres, fiction and nonfiction, basically whatever catches my interest. I'm always diving deep and enjoying the learning journey. And this wasn't always the case for structured school learning. And I kind of am pushing back against that a little because I think I know everyone is created uniquely with different strengths and gifts and interests. And I want to pay attention to those interests in myself, and I want to pay attention to those interests in my children. And so while I provide content and structure, I also don't want it to become a cage for us or inhibiting us from exploring things that are actually grabbing our attention. I don't want to check off the boxes, if that makes sense, without actually learning. That would be teaching my children just to accomplish things just for the sake of accomplishing, rather than enjoying the journey, rather than pursuing what's most enjoyable. Granted, there are times when things need to be done just because they need to be done, but that's not what I'm talking about here. That's another topic for another day. So let me start out by just sharing with you the resources that I used this week, and hopefully some of you will find this helpful. I know I love watching other moms share their homeschool resources, and I find it very inspiring and directive for me when I'm looking for content for my kids. So we start out each morning at breakfast time. The kids are sitting down, they're eating, and I can grab a minute with our reading. So we start with kind of a Bible theme, and this is called The Big Book of Bible Learning by V. Gilbert Beers. And each section is very short, and it covers an aspect of the lifestyle surrounding Bible times. So the first section is about houses. How were houses built back then? How did they live back then? We haven't gotten this far, but this is a time to clean up section. What does it look like to clean? We looked at bread, the bread that they eat this week, the way they gather water. So it's really been informative, and it's in an interesting, child-friendly format. The other thing I do while my kids are eating breakfast is I have a read aloud that I'll read several chapters in. And right now we're going through My Father's Dragon by Ruth Stiles Gannett. And I was homeschooled, and my mom used the Sonlight curriculum, which is literature-based, and I loved it personally. I loved the reading. This is a Sonlight recommended book. I'm not following Sonlight only. I'm gleaning from their best titles, and I'm incorporating that into the other things that we're learning. So this is probably a great time to say I am not using a curriculum as a whole right now. I'm kind of gleaning from different books. This is how I learn best. This is my style. I'm not saying everyone has to do this. What I'm saying is it works for me. And I'm happy to share with you what I'm learning, what I'm using. So we'll read aloud, and then I I have moved into either like a math or a science. Right now in science, we're learning about the senses. I picked this book up secondhand. I'm really liking the content. There's pictures, big words, lots of engaging just ideas represented here. And I won't read this word for word. I will skim quietly for myself, and then I'll kind of pick out the topics that I would find age appropriate and interest appropriate for my kids. And excuse me, sometimes they'll point at pictures and ask, so what's going on here? And I'm happy to engage them in the way that they are, the interests that they're showing me. So we were looking at eyesight, and that transferred into sensibilities, fun ways to explore the senses. This is by Michelle O'Brien Palmer, and we did the first 3 activities this week. We looked at pupils. My 2 older kids, we stood facing each other in a dark room, and then I would open the curtains and the light, and we watched what happened to each other's pupils. It was really fun. That was the first activity. And then the 2 other activities were about perspective, and if we cover one eye, how does our perspective change? How does something we're looking at change? So those were really fun, engaging, simple activities, minimal supplies needed, and just the right activity level for the age group that I'm working with. My son is 4 and my daughter is 3. The sensibilities book has a book list for each different sense. So for eyesight, they recommended several books, which I'm going to show you. One of them is Eye Magic, Fantastic Optical Illusions, an interactive pop-up book. And my son and I, we looked through this together. We looked through a couple pages and we talked about the illusions and why our eyes are, interpreting things the way they are. And then he sat on the couch and he browsed through this book, the pages we didn't look through, and he found the envelope at the back, which is full of different manipulatives. And he loved that. He was asking questions about it and really diving into and just enjoying all the little things. So I would highly recommend this book. This is a library book. We got this from the library. As well as this one. My daughter really loved this one. This is a wordless book. It's called Magpie Magic by April Wilson. And I didn't think I would enjoy it so much. I like reading words, and I don't really like coming up with the story. But my goodness, this was engaging. It was interesting. We could look, the hands are so evoking emotion, surprise and delight and frustration. And so I just would ask questions and we would kind of tell the story together. The kids honestly told the story, using the questions that I asked. So I would highly recommend Magpie Magic by April Wilson. And then we, a simple board book we used by Rachel Isadora, I See, and it just covered the illustrations are awesome, and just covering things that we interact with in our day-to-day life, things that we see. So both of these books, Magpie Magic, no words, we had to use our eyes to interpret the pictures, and the same with Rachel Isadora, I See book was very using our eyes, interpreting the pictures and enjoying that process. The last resource I'm going to show and share with you all this week is the kind of math curriculum I'm using. Learn Your Numbers, Learn to Serve by Laura Coppinger of heavenlyhomemakers.com. I downloaded this curriculum. I bought it and downloaded it from her website, and I've been very pleased with our first week of doing it. We were learning about the number 0, and she has a Bible theme. We're Christian, so I definitely am engaging my children in the Lord Jesus and modeling that for them in my own choices that I make in my interactions with them. So there's a Bible verse in here. There is a lovely idea of counting your blessings. What a lovely idea for learning numbers, is making a count of things that you're grateful for. So she provides a grid, and we filled in a couple spaces there. The idea is to kind of do it every day, but we didn't do it every day. We just did a good number of them on one day. And then she has other activities. So the title is Learn Your Numbers, Learn to Serve. And the idea is that you're learning and implementing ways to be a blessing. You're not only counting your blessings, but you are embodying a blessing to other people. And Laura gives some really great ideas in here of how to do that. So this week we chose her idea of making donuts. They're in the shape of a zero, right? So that's fun. And my brother is here working on our house. He's building a porch for us off the side of our house, and we decided to make donuts to share with him. He's a blessing to us, and we're going to bless him with some donuts, which we're eating all up that day. So this has been a lot of fun. There's also different activity pages that she provides, and I'm not a huge activity page person because I feel like sometimes they can detract from the actual learning, but it's important at the same time for children to learn how to write their numbers. So I actually used an activity page from a Handwriting Without Tears book for his age group, and then I used her activity pages as well, and the different activities she suggests as well, not in addition to the donuts. So I'll let you check that out, but that gives kind of an overview of our week. Thanks for watching this video. I hope that you'll check back again. I'm hoping to post a video every week with the content that we have explored, the resources that we have used throughout that week to learn and explore the world around us. Thanks for watching, and if you hear the saw in the background, that's my brother working on our porch. All right, bye-bye for now.